It's good to be here, and my name is Art Thiessen. I came here when I was 19 years old for the first time, as my sister called and said they needed workers. And I asked my dad, can I go? He looked at my sister and said, will you bail? And she said, yes. He said, go. And I tell you that this is the place where I fell in love with camp. And God got a hold of my life and gave me a calling to serve in camp. And we were the first full-time directors here 45 years ago. And we got the privilege to train under Dave and Darlene Holland. And there were never better teachers for me. Dave had such a caring heart and a servant attitude that just has stuck with me so long. And one of the first jobs that I got to do when I came to be the director was I got to go to all the public schools and take a slideshow to the public schools and share about camp. And after the show, slideshow, I'd talk about camp. And then I'd go to the gym door where the kids had all come in and sat on the floor, and they'd all go out and I could hand them all a brochure. And I thought there was no better privilege to share Christ with these kids. And camp grew, and it was just so rewarding that God gave us the privilege to go into public school to share Jesus with those kids. Next, one of the blessings that I had is planning work days, and I just love planning work days because the people of this area had such servant hearts, and they would come out in lots of numbers. And those cabins back there, some of those got built in one day of a work day because they just worked. And if it didn't get finished, they'd come back and finish it up. And one of the best buildings that we built when I was here is the fourplex that is still being used. It got moved from down here up there, which is good. But it was so much a privilege to let staff go and sleep in there after a hard day's work. They had served so well, and to let them go and rest in a place where they could be alone and just enjoy just some downtown time was such a good thing. And so I want to thank all those folks, if you're here today, that came for a work day when I was a director. You just made my day. You blessed me so much. And I just want to say thank you for serving Jesus and helping me as a director. Next, we needed more activities for kids, and one of the things that I loved was horses, and I wanted to see horses for camp. And the camp board and us decided that we should try it. And I remember going to see Irwin Goodon just across the road, and I said, Irwin, as we sat there together, we need a few things. We need land first of all. We need a barn and corrals and horses. And he looked at me and he said, how many do you need? I said, we need 20 for this summer. With tack, don't forget. And then through his graciousness and many other people's graciousness, the Lord provided, and we had horses and barn. And I am so thankful for the way it's developed from way back in those early beginnings to where it is today with a full-time riding director. I am so thrilled and thankful, and I just want to give God the praise for allowing us the privilege of having a tool like horses to bring kids to camp that they would get to know Jesus. The best part of camp was being in staff meeting, and staff would come in and they'd say, I led one or more kids to Jesus. And there was just no greater joy than to hear that somebody had accepted Jesus, my best friend, and we were going to spend eternity with that kid. I want you to know There's no better work than camp work. I've served as a camp director now for over 40 years, and I cannot tell you the privilege of starting that ministry right here. But I want you to know that if you've given or worked or whatever you've done, there is no greater joy than seeing a lost sinner coming to know Jesus and the privilege of us spending eternity with them. I am looking forward to seeing not just the kids that came to know Jesus, but the kids they led to the Lord. And as a result, we're going to sit around the throne of glory rejoicing because one lost sinner came to know Jesus. Thank you.